just 4 hours north of Mexico City, right in the heart of Tolantongo Canyon, where steamy rivers carve through cliffs and the mountains hide their treasures, lies a hidden gem that locals don't want you to know about. It's called Grutas Tolantongo. But don't worry, I'll tell you all the secrets, life hacks, and all the mistakes I made so you don't have to. Let's go! This beautiful journey starts with a flight to Mexico City. If you have a few extra days, I recommend to check it out. It's a gorgeous place with gourmet restaurants, affordable hotels in historical buildings, colonial architecture that has stood out here for over 4 centuries, traces of Aztec life, and some other cool things to do. We rented a car to be flexible on our trip, but there are other ways to get to Grutas Tolantongo. For example, taking a public bus from Mexico City to the town called Ixmiquilpan, and then a colectivo or shuttle to the site, or joining a guided day tour that includes transportation. I must say that having a car in Mexico added a few unexpected issues to our trip, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. On that beautiful morning, we didn't have a clue about how this trip would turn out, and we are full of anticipation for a new adventure. My plan was to get to Grutas Tolantongo by late afternoon, since it's only about a 4-hour drive from Mexico City's historical downtown. But first, we wanted to check out the Teotihuacan pyramids. Scientists are still debating who built those mysterious pyramids, as they appeared in pre-Aztec times. The pyramids are located on the way to Grutas Tolantongo, just 1 hour north of Mexico City, so it definitely makes sense to visit them if you have not already. However, on the way to pyramids, we got a little surprise: a flat tire. The good news? We were still in the suburbs of Mexico City and not stuck in the middle of nowhere. We were a bit nervous about being in what some might call a sketchy neighborhood, worried about the gangs and all that, but nothing had happened. The tire was fixed in 40 minutes, and guess what? It cost us $5. Then came another detour. We ended up going through the same paid drive-through access 4 times, thanks to confusing GPS directions. Let me tell you now, Google Maps is not your best friend in Mexico. When you hit that paid checkpoint, just head for the far left gate to reach the pyramids. By the time we arrived to Teotihuacan, it was almost 1 p.m. Needless to say, that perfect schedule went right out the window. And yes, there was a long line for tickets. I'll drop all my pyramid visit hacks in another video. Stay tuned. For now, just know that you should plan at least 2 hours for a quick visit. But we spent 3.5 hours for the full experience. To my disappointment, the beautiful sunset I dreamed of catching at Grutas Tolantongo happened on the road, 1 hour away. And just when we thought we were close, came the hardest part. As you come closer to Grutas Tolantongo, you pass through a bunch of tiny villages. Each one has several massive speed bumps. Serious axle busters. If you're driving a budget rental car like we were, pay close attention and don't miss the warning signs. And that's not all. When you are driving in between those villages, you get no light on the road, so be extra careful too. And then you hit the mountain serpentine section, in the dark. Not for the faint of heart. There were a few moments when I seriously thought we were not gonna make it and would end up at the bottom of the canyon. So try to arrive to this place before it gets dark. We finally made it to Gruta Stalantongo at around 8 p.m., completely wiped out. We just wanted to eat and crash. Restaurants on site close at 9 p.m., so if you arrive late and hungry, good luck. But while we are on the topic of food, here's a little secret I wish I had known in time. One of the restaurants near the hotels slow roasts meat overnight in traditional pits, wrapping meat in cactus leaves, letting the flavors melt together in that smoky, earthy heat. It's a technique that dates back centuries and smells absolutely insane when you walk by in the morning. Sadly, we did not get a chance to try it, but just knowing it's there, well, let's just say it gives me a very good reason to return. If you get to try it, let me know how it tastes. I did not get a sunset vibe here, but I did get that beautiful sunrise. Right from the balcony of my room, with the view of these misty mountains. But hurry up, Polina. We need to beat the crowd to those Insta-famous hanging pools called Pozas Termales. And here they are, these dreamy cliffside pools. The water is pleasantly warm, just exactly what you need in a cool morning. The pools are filled with geothermal spring water that comes from deep inside the mountains. As rainwater filters down, it heats up naturally by volcanic activity and absorbs healing minerals like calcium, magnesium, and silica. Instead of letting that magical water run wild, locals crafted dozens of terraced basins right into the cliffside. The mineral water is not just warm, it's also believed to have therapeutic properties, helping with stress relief, muscle soreness, and skin health. Believe it or not, these pools were built back in the 1970s and remained a hidden gem for many years. They became world famous just a few years ago when Instagram and YouTube influencers blew the secret wide open. Kudos and respect to those who built those pools. So want the pools without the crowd? Here's the life hack. The official opening is 8 a.m. But if you're staying overnight, you can get in at 7:30 in the morning. This was the scene at 7:37 a.m. And here is what it looked like at 9:52. Early bird gets the peaceful pictures and maybe a few jealous followers. Just kidding. How to stay overnight? There are 2 hotels you can book in advance by contacting them via WhatsApp. They are Hotel Paraíso Escondida 2 with balconies where I stayed and Hotel El Rancho. I'll link the WhatsApp numbers in the description. Heads up, you need to pay in advance via bank transfer. No PayPal, no credit cards. But hey, that's progress. Not long ago, it was walk-in only. First come, first served. There are other hotels in this area that still operate as walk-in only, but it's advised to arrive before 9 a.m. to get a room. Credit cards are not accepted. Bring cash. Also, a few camping sites are available on first-come, first-served basis, where you can either rent a tent or bring your own. I must say that the entire area is incredibly impressive. Nestled within the mountains of Hidalgo, Gruta Stalantongo gives you off a surprising Mediterranean coastal town vibe. The air is warm and fresh, filled with the scent of mineral-rich water and wild vegetation. Only towering cactuses quietly remind you that this is Mexico. Anyway, if you think this place is just about thermal pools, you are mistaken. How would you rate this beauty? This stunning waterfall and the crowd beneath it. This place is definitely not a secret anymore. This waterfall flows right over the cave called La Gruta, and the biggest surprise here is that the water in the cave is even warmer than in the pools. Of course, if you are brave enough to enter inside the cave, along with 100 strangers. I'm telling you that it's worth it. Totally worth it. The most unique feature of this cave is that the hot mineral water rains down from the ceiling and walls through geothermal vents. It looks like nature built its own hot shower system. Steamy mist, echoing drips, hot cascades down your back. It's like stumbling into a hidden mountain spa. Bring a waterproof flashlight if you want to explore the inner tunnels. Water shoes help, but I manage in flip-flops. Now I need to warn you that you are not allowed to bring your backpack or bag to the cave, but there are lockers available, as well as shops where you can buy flashlights, water shoes, waterproof cases for your phones, and even swimsuits. And just when you're ready to get out of the cave, you'll get a surprise. A cold water shower, which is waiting for you. This cold waterfall is falling from the top of the mountains, not underground geothermal sources. In April, when we visited it, the water was about 61–64 Fahrenheit. That contrast shower makes this natural spa even more fancy. My only regret is not spending another night here and trying to get to the cave early in the morning when it's not overcrowded. Well, next time! I think spending 2–3 nights in Gruta Stolantonga would be ideal. Wondering how to reach the cave? There is a shuttle from Hotel Paraíso Escondido 2, or you can drive. But let me tell you about the coolest way to get there. Ready? It's zipline. It goes right from the Hotel Paraíso Escondido 2, takes about 20 minutes, and you're allowed to ride with your backpack, so you can bring whatever you need, like your water shoes, flashlight, and swimming suit. Flying through the canyon above turquoise water and giant cactuses, with the wind in your face, makes you think that maybe life should feel like this more often, and you can exchange city life for a place like this. I did not know I could reach the cave after zipline, so I started hiking back to the hotel, following the signs and soaking in that cactus terrain I just flew over. But after 15 minutes of wandering, I started to feel suspiciously lost. So here is the trick.
This is how I got lost. I followed the wrong sign. I followed the sign that actually brings you to the hotel, but it's like 40 minutes hike. So I followed this Paraíso Escondido sign, like 15 minutes. This was hot, but it was the wrong one. So what you need to do is to follow this sign, Rio Tunnel,
and it can bring you to the parking lot where you can take a shuttle back to the hotel, or you can hike up to the cave. This short 10-minute hike to the cave is beautiful itself. You'll be rewarded with breathtaking views of cascading waterfalls, dramatic canyon walls, and that dreamy, milky blue river below. Wait! We have not talked about that blue river yet. It's cutting the canyon like a huge snake. It looks fantastic from above, and when you get closer, you understand where the idea of hanging pools is coming from. The pools are repeating the river rapids. And here comes another surprise. The river is warm too, and it's full of healing minerals. A long time ago, the region around Alantongo was home to indigenous Satomi people. According to legend, there was a sacred valley protected by mountain spirits, a hidden paradise, Paraíso Escondido, that only the pure-hearted could find. This mystical place was said to offer healing waters, eternal spring, and peace. But it vanished from view whenever those with greed or violence approached. One day, during a severe drought, a humble shepherd boy wandered into the mountains with his sick grandmother. Desperate to find help, he followed the singing of birds and the sound of water echoing through the cliffs. To his astonishment, he stumbled upon a lush canyon filled with steaming pools in the river and stunning waterfalls. The boy and his grandmother bathed in the warm waters, and her health miraculously returned. Hearing of the miracle, the villagers rushed to find this sacred spot, but most could not see it. Only those who came in gratitude or seeking peace were able to enter and experience the water's healing power. Now it does make sense to me why the road to this place was not easy for us, and why we got a flat tire. Apparently, this place was warning and testing us. But since we finally got here, it probably means that we are not too bad people. So now the question is, are you ready to test your heart?